So, I had my speech all memorized completely in my head until I got here, so I had to write it on a plate. So, as a lot of you know, I've just gotten back from 2 very exciting trips on a program called the Young Explorers Program. A man named Mike Horn started it. He's a world-renowned explorer. He swam the entire length of the Amazon, and he's did a 2-year trip all around the Arctic Circle at minus 60 degrees. And he's just this crazy guy. He just goes out and does it. And so this guy wanted to take kids with him on some of his expeditions. And so he sent out for applicants, and he got hundreds of applicants all around the world, and picks 18 of them to go to Switzerland. All paid, all expenses paid, to Switzerland, I know. And then he chooses half, like 10, to go to some amazing part of the world with him and explore. So this time, it's the Amazon. And I just want to, first I want to start with a verse real quick. Yes, Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. And so basically, I want to share with you kind of how I got into this program, because there were some really amazing things that happened. And I'd like you to know it, because it really, you know, I can think back on this whole journey and experience, and it really strengthens my faith and my trust in God. And so, ever since I was 6, I always wanted to go to the Amazon, because when I was 6, I started watching Discovery Channel, and they would always show shows on the Amazon, and it was an amazing place. It had that sense of unknown for me. So I always wanted to go. When I was 10, my sister filmed a movie in Colombia, and we were so close, Colombia, South America. We were so close to the Amazon. I wanted to go so badly. And a bunch of the cast and crew were planning a trip over there. But we weren't rich enough at the time, and we just couldn't afford it. So, still aren't, but yeah, then little did I know, 4 years later and 4 months ago, my dad would get an email from discoverychannel.com that linked him to an article there. And he was reading an article, and he accidentally clicked on another link or something, and it took him to mikehorn.com, which we had never heard of. And as he was reading, he started to realize that it was actually kind of perfect. The application window for the Amazon, it was the Amazon Expedition Next. They had done like 9 other expeditions, North Pole, all different things, and they were about to do Africa, but this one that the application window had just opened for and was going to close in a month for was the Amazon, my dream. And so he raced it over to me, and we were all really excited. But then, as we started reading more into the program, it didn't exactly fit. You know, a wall kind of slammed in front of this perfect opportunity that it seemed like God had led us to. I wasn't actually old enough to apply for this program. I had to be 15 when I submitted my application video, but I'm 14 right now. And so it seemed like, wow, you know, I was like, well, that's it. Too bad. It was perfect. It's amazing, but I couldn't go. I prayed about it, and we went over how amazing it was that God had led us to this, and we all had felt that. So I decided to try and apply anyway. And that was actually really hard for me because, you know, I'm working on this video, putting all of my effort into it, trying to script it and film it, and I probably can't even go, most likely. And then I started to look into it more and read about what Switzerland was, and it was a selection camp for the Amazon. And it looked like it was actually really physical and really difficult, and that I wouldn't even be strong enough for that. And that so even if I did get in, I wouldn't be strong enough to get into the Amazon. There's just no way. But I went on, and I was about to finish the video, and then we had a huge windstorm, which I don't know, if you remember, but we had a huge windstorm. It knocked over tons of trees, and that actually caused us to have no electricity. So we had to go to Panera, which had electricity and internet, so that we could finish the video. We heard a still small voice saying in the background. It was a worker, not God, but it was God too, I think. But you know, God speaks through many different ways. And the worker was saying to the other worker, "I want to go get drunk after work." We were like, And then the other worker said, "Oh no, I can't. I'm not old enough. I'm only 20. I'm not 21. And the other worker, who was Chinese, said, "Well, in my country, you are 21 because we count the year in the womb as your 1 year." So my mom, which happened to hear that and saw it as a perfect opportunity, said, "Bobby, go ask her to film it." And so I did. I asked her if she would say that on video, and she did. Not the drunk part, but you know. And she did, and so I put that in my video as a kind of way of saying, hey, you know, with 1 billion people in this world, I kind of am 15. You know, maybe you can kind of nudge that in there, and it's an excuse, you know. And they emailed me back and said, "You know what? Okay. You've showed us." There was a ton of emails in there, a lot of conversation through there. It was a very hard decision for them, but they saw that I was really, you know, passionate about this and really wanted to go in, and they made an exception. And so Switzerland was amazing. I want to show you a couple of pictures of Switzerland. It was nothing like the Amazon, but I don't know if you can see. It was very snowy and cold. And we would wake up at like 5 in the morning. It was pitch black, and we'd go on long, long runs through the snow. And actually warmed us up quite nicely. So we'd do runs. Next. The scenery was absolutely beautiful. I'm in there somewhere. The trees were huge, just covered with snows. Huge towering mountains would go up into the fog. You couldn't even... The first 5 days, we couldn't even see the peaks of the mountains because it was so foggy up there. It's crazy. Next, we climbed up to 9,000 feet onto one of the Swiss Alps. And it was very, very cold there. It was minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It was very crazy. And we had a blast, yeah. One slip, would have been dead, but we didn't die. None of us died. Next, it was also very, very windy up there. I felt like I was about to get swept off the mountain. It was so crazy. We had this one huge hill we had to climb back up to. The last hill was so windy. It was just amazing. I felt like I was in like a National Geographic show. It was awesome. Next. We did some ice climbing, and that was actually very, very difficult. We climbed a frozen waterfall as well, and it was very, very fun. So yes, I went to Switzerland, and I had an amazing, amazing time. God really, really came through for me on that, and I got into the Amazon, which was shocking. I had some really hard moments in Switzerland because it was difficult. We were doing a lot of physical activity. We had a 2-day raid at the end where we had to hike, what was it, like 20 miles over those 2 days through the snow, and that was just as the, you know, bird flies over the mountains, not up through the mountains. And so it was difficult, but I knew God was with me, and I took each step knowing God was with me, and that's what got me through. It really was. And so now, I want to show you some photos of the amazing Amazon. These are a couple photos I threw together. Just some really amazing things we did there. Yeah, so we would go on these pirogues that we bought from the locals there. And we would, pirogues is the little canoe thing, dugout canoe. And we would just go through these little streams that would lead us through the forest and the jungle, and it was wrapping around us, and it's beautiful. You'd hear all the insects all around always, and all the birds. And it was an amazing experience. Next. Mike, that's Mike there. It's kind of hard to see, but he taught us many, many things. How to climb trees, how to make make traps, all sorts of things. He's an amazing guy. There's so much knowledge, and it was awesome to really learn from him and hear about all of his adventures. Next. This is a scorpion, picture of a scorpion we took there. And that's actually a life-size picture right there. Basically about that size. Gets a little bit bigger each time we show it though. Next. Mike would teach us how to steer his $14 million boat, which was very, very difficult because it was 115 feet long. And we were very close to the side of the river, the banks, and we actually crashed a couple times. So he didn't get too mad, but yeah, it was interesting because it's amazing how much I didn't know about sailing. I thought it was just kind of you steer a boat in the river like driving a car or something, but no, there's all these different currents, and you can actually look in the river and see the different depths by just looking at the surface of the river. How wavy it is, the turbulence, you can see the different depths, so that's how you find the places you can go, because actually many times we hit sandbanks, and one time got stuck on a sandbank where we had to dig ourselves out, figure out how to get back over it. So it wasn't very deep in a lot of places, and yeah. It's amazing to watch out for that. Okay? We do relay races around the boat, and so we really, really got to know the boat. We would climb every part of it, and we sure cleaned every part of it. He made sure of that. Next. This is the boat next to the Amazon jungle. You can see. You can't really see a scale, but that mast, that sail is about 110 feet tall, 100 feet tall. We got to climb that mast, which was very cool. Okay, next. Yes, we had an awesome time. We were all having just fun in the Amazon. Next. We stopped in a little village, and we saw how this guy, he would make these shrimp traps. And he showed us how to make shrimp traps. And that's how he would make them and sell them to other tribes and things, and that's what he did for a living. It was so cool. Next. This is one of the famous or infamous tarantulas that are in the Amazon. Those were about that big. It was really big, and we'd hike through the jungle and see them everywhere and see the toucans and all sorts of things. Next. Yes, I'm looking at one right now. I don't know. I am very prepared. I'm very prepared. Right there. Yes, I was ready. I was not going to get bitten. Everyone else did. I did not. And this is Manaus. This is the city we arrived in our first day. And it's crazy. It's a city of 3 million. Huge. In the middle of the Amazon jungle. Who knew? Right in the middle. Next. This is just all the team. Well, not all of them. You can't see everybody. But that's Mike, and he would just share all these stories about all the expeditions he's gone on. And it's an amazing guy to talk to. Next. This is where we would sleep. We would sleep out on deck. And it was actually very comfortable. We had these inflatable mattresses. It worked out well. Next. We would jump off the boat as it was moving, and then they would stop and we'd swim back. But there's no way we'd catch up. But yeah, we'd jump off, and next. I learned how to drive a speedboat thing, little thingy thing, and it was very cool. Next. Again, hiking through the jungle. Next. What? Oh yeah, I was holding a machete. I still have that machete. Yes. And these trees, oh my gosh, they were everywhere. And I don't know if you can really see, but they had spikes this long. Everything in the Amazon just wants to kill you. It's crazy. As you're walking along in the jungle at night, you can't see anything. Suddenly, oh, no! And suddenly you're sitting down. Dang it. 10 spikes. Yes, next. Yeah, we found this berry that you can see one of them is holding it. And this is the berry that the tribes would take and break open and rub on their faces and stuff. And it would stay on your face. You'd have to really rub it off with water. But yeah, the girl who put it in her hair, it stayed the whole trip basically. Like she took showers and everything and swam, but no, it stayed like that. Next, we visited this one ruins place in the middle of the Amazon, and it was deserted 100 years ago because the ants moved in. So they had to move out. Seriously. The ants. An army of ants just moved into the village, ruins, and everybody had to be flushed out later. It's a crazy thing. Yeah. Next. We also gave soccer balls and water filters to some of the different communities and tribes. And we would always play soccer with them, and they beat us bad, even when they were just 4. It was crazy. Next, we found this mud that Mike claimed that was good for us, and he would. I don't know if he was just pulling our legs, just wanted to see us all muddy, but yeah, we put this mud on and went all tribal. It was very funny. Next. We would throw out a rope and get pulled by the boat at 8 knots, which I don't know if you know, but 8 knots is very fast and very powerful, and it was very difficult to hold on, but it's just an amazing feeling having all the water pushing you up, and it's crazy, just pressurized water all around you. It's really weird. Next. Yes, this is the little, I don't know how old he is, but he was in that pirogue alone, and all these little 4-year-olds would paddle up to the boat next to us in these pirogues, and they were much better at me. Piroguing was crazy. Next. This I carved a harpoon, because we went caiman hunting and fish hunting, and so I carved out a harpoon. We put in a arrowhead, and next. This is again coming out of the jungle, coming through the jungle in pirogues, which is actually very difficult. You have to really learn to maneuver the boat through the trees and all the tangled jungle. So it was very cool to do. Next. It's hard to see, but that's me on the left. And on the right is my cousin that was also there. No, that was a pink dolphin, and they were so cool. They're pink river dolphins. They're freshwater dolphins that live in the Amazon River, and they're so cool. They stick their heads up out of the black murky water. You can't see anything. You can't see a foot away under there. So I didn't actually know there was a dolphin right next to me, but there was. Yeah, they'd stick their heads out of the water, and they're really amazing. They're gray and pink and squishy. We went into a piranha trap that the locals had built in the water. We spotted it, and we went into it. There were all these piranha just swimming around our legs, which was an interesting experience. It was quite scary, actually. And that piranha is about this big, which is surprising. They actually get pretty big. There are different sizes of piranha. You always think of them as this big, you know? But no, there are piranha that are this big and this big. And so, yeah, this one and it had teeth, for sure. This is me, climbed the mast, and it was very high. Those are my legs dangling down. And that's the boat from up high. Just, yeah, we had a rope there. Next. And this is the view from up high. That's some of the jungle. And next. You can see the river is completely black. Completely black. It's like a mirror. That's another cool photo. That is a fruit that I'm blanking on the name, but that's a fruit that we made, that we went to a local juice place and they turned it into this. Next. That. And it was very good. Very, very good. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to try all the different local juices and stuff. They have crazy plants there. Next. As you can see, we hit a couple trees on the way, and they would get stuck in our mast, and we'd have to climb up there and cut them out. But I like that picture. Next. Yeah, just again, arriving at some of the different communities and villages and such. Next. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's a bird in there, that yellow spot, and those are all nests, and there was like 30 nests in this tree, and they were swarming with all these birds. And yeah, it was so cool. Just they have so many different types of birds there. Seeing all the parrots and all these different colors and stuff. It's awesome. Next. Now this is the school bus in the Amazon. They use school boats because they don't have roads really. So yeah, that's the school bus. Next. Yeah, some parrots that we saw. This is how we would take showers. And it did not keep us clean. Next. Again, hitting trees. Next. We also felt bad at how many trees we hit and broke, so we had to plant some. Yeah, so we plant some with a local farmer who was actually trying to find a sustainable way of farming, which is very difficult in the Amazon and a big problem in the Amazon. So it was awesome to help him out and to try and slowly, bit by bit, save the Amazon. And we planted like 500 trees, something like that. It's very cool. Next. And yes, I was very excited the whole time. And the wind was going at like 40 knots. I don't know if you know, but it was crazy fast. 70 miles per hour or something like that. But yeah, we were all like leaning on the edge of the boat and we're like, we're not going to fall off. I think that's it actually. Yep. Woo!